This is QTV News broadcasting from the Gambia, and I am Marietu Sidibe. Our top stories. The Supreme Court of the Gambia has struck out charges against 31 National Assembly members. Dabo and others were injured by PIU officers, Gambia's ambassador to Turkey alleges. A 3-day training on security service reform concludes in the Gambia. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. The Supreme Court has struck out charges filed against 31 MPs in a lawsuit filed by lawyers Lamin K. Mboj and Ibrahima Jallow, who are in defense of President Barrow's sacking of nominated MP Yakumba Jaiteh. Meanwhile, in a similar but different case, the Defense Counsel for Jaiteh has filed an injunction at the Supreme Court to prevent the swearing of newly nominated member Fode Gassama. Aliou Cisse was following the proceedings, and he now reports.
Except the sacked MP Yakumba Jaiteh and Attorney General, charges concerning 31 MPs were struck out by the Supreme Court. As provided in the 1997 Constitution, National Assembly members are immune from any form of civil or criminal suit while in active service. Sections 113, 114, and 115 provide immunity to MPs. The sued 31 MPs included the sacked MP Yakumba Jaiteh, Majority Leader Keba K. Barrow, Minority Leader Samba Jallow, Honorable Sida Jata, and Deputy Speaker Modu L.K. Sane. Also named as a defendant is the Attorney General. The legal action against them is connected to a purported resolution signed by the MPs against the President's action, which the plaintiffs want the court to declare as illegal and unconstitutional and therefore impermissible and contrary to public policy. Filing an affidavit sworn to by the second plaintiff, Ibrahima Jallow, in support of their ex parte, the first plaintiff, lawyer Lamin L.K. Mboj, urged the court to restrain Yakumba Jaiteh from National Assembly pending the outcome of the case. The affidavit, according to Mboj, is meant to prevent breakdown of the rule of law and chaos at the parliament. Yakumba Jaiteh, in his affidavit submission, Mboj argued that she has the privilege to be a member of the parliament as a result of her nomination by the president. President Barrow has replaced Jaiteh with Fode Gassama, and for Mboj, two people cannot occupy the same seat in the House as it can lead to chaos. He therefore urged the court to determine their application. Meanwhile, the lawsuit filed by Yakumba Jaiteh against the clerk of the parliament and 3 others continued on Thursday at the Supreme Court in Banjul. At the start of the continuation hearing, plaintiffs' counsel lawyer Bori Esture applied for the court to issue an injunction to prevent the swearing of the newly nominated member Fode Gassama. According to him, there are plans to swear Gassama on 18 March 2019. Ture says nomination of members cannot exceed 5, and therefore the nomination of Gassama, if not revoked, can cause chaos and violate the Constitution. His client, he told the Supreme Court, has been executing her responsibilities as MP in the interest of the country. He therefore pleaded with the court to grant his application. Lawyer Binga D, the defense counsel for the clerk, speaker, and attorney general, says for one to be nominated is a privilege and does not constitute a right. He argued that there is no provision in the Constitution which prohibits the president from revoking the nomination of a member. He urged the court not to grant the application filed by the plaintiff's counsel, as it will put the state in a difficult situation of not having a constitutionally guaranteed nominated member in the parliament. The Supreme Court will rule on both cases on Friday. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Gambia's ambassador to the Republic of Turkey today testified at the ongoing Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission's public hearings. He was testifying in relation to his alleged arrest and detention in January 1996 and April 2016. QTV's Ansumana Esonyasi tells us more.
Testifying via a Skype call, former minority leader and now Gambian ambassador to the Republic of Turkey, Kemesen Jame, testified on his alleged multiple arrests and detention. In his testimony, he told the commission he was first arrested in 1997 and detained at Janjanbureh prison for months without charge, only to be transferred to Farafenni police station and subsequently arraigned before Farafenni Magistrates Court and accused of breaking into people's properties. While he denied those charges, the witness alleged the state failed to proceed with his prosecution as they could not prove their case, and so the charges were eventually dropped. On the infamous arrest of natives of Jarasi Kunda, where he hailed from, the witness accused the wife of Chief Yaya Jajusi of falsely accusing 11-yard owners of being reluctant to pay tax to the then Alcala of the village. He alleged that they were arrested and haphazardly arranged before the district tribunal headed by Chief Yaya Jajusi and sentenced to 6 months in prison.
Yaya Jajusi's wife, Fatou Njai, told the president that they were surprised because there is a village in this constituency who is not prepared to pay rates. Then the president expressed his concern. He said, which village is that? And that's my village. He said, well, then somebody will go to jail for this. So thereafter, not quite a week, they went after my yard owners. They started with 12 people. Yeah, thereafter, something interesting happened. I told you about the president's talk. When Jajusi's wife made that sort of statement that there is a village in Yara West that has refused to pay rates. That's a gross misrepresentation of what happened. Any yard owner can march and go and pay his or her rates to the council, but Sekunda was denied that sort of that opportunity. So they said they must by force surrender themselves to an alcalde who was imposed. And our people won't do that.
Meanwhile, the witness also gave his account of the April 2016 protest led by the executive members of the United Democratic Party demanding the release of late Solo Sandeng and others who were allegedly arrested following a peaceful protest demanding electoral reforms. The witness further alleged he was among those arrested on the 16th of April 2016.
We were marching, heading towards Westfield. Then at Comium office area, that was where the paramilitary force descended on us, beating us, throwing people on board their truck. It was serious. The most seriously wounded people, I will name 3. Lausenu Dabo, seriously wounded on his head. Followed by Lamin Tiba, he nearly lost his eye. Minister of Agriculture, he nearly would have lost his eye. And then Lamin Jata of Brikama, seriously wounded on his head. I also had my share. So I was hit on my head and my hand, wounded also.
Meanwhile, the commission will resume on Monday. Ansumana Sonyasi for QTV News.
A 3-day induction training of members of the National Security Drafting Committee has ended at a local hotel in Bakau. The session was meant to prepare drafters for a design on the security sector reform strategy. The training was graced by security service reform specialists, international partners, senior representatives from the UN, AU and ECOWAS. Babukar C has more on the story.
The objective of the induction is to enhance understanding of the Security Service Reform (SSR) and its corresponding activities in the transformation of national security, and in particular, the 2 cardinal tools in the process, namely National Security Strategy and the Security Service Reform Strategy. Speaking on the sidelines of the training, the National Security Advisor to the President, who doubles as the head of the security sector reform process, Mamadou Badji, said the induction will help contribute to the strengthening of their skills while focusing their understanding on the design and formulation of the National Security Service and Security Service Reform Strategy documents.
Security strategy is essentially out to address the issues, the vision, the dream, especially of His Excellency President Adama Barrow on the national, which is really captured in the national security policy. So basically the national security strategy will help us to implement that strategy policy document, and not only that, it will as well help and facilitate the subordinate institutions. I mean the armed forces, the police, the SIS, and other related, sectors that are under the national security, to be able to derive their respective policies, frameworks, and also strategies. And then for the security sector reform strategy, the purpose is for us to be able to address issues that came out during our assessment. You may recall that we started the whole process with a security sector assessment, and then the report was, submitted to the presidency, and then it was, approved. This was way back in December 2017. So basically, we are now developing a security sector reform strategy document which will help us to address the findings and recommendations that we are associated with our assessment report.
For his part, Ahmad Salah, Assistant Superintendent from the Immigration, who was among the participants, highlighted the importance of the training as one way of helping to reshape the security sector of the country.
Very important because it will prepare the ground and the minds, for us to come up with, a strategy. Because this training, this induction training is aimed towards, preparing the minds for us to develop two strategies. That is one, the SSR strategy and the national security strategy. Yes, the SSR strategy is to at least help this because a strategy is a way, of trying to implement what was being highlighted or recommended in the assessment report. Because the assessment report has highlighted a lot of recommendations. So in a bid to make sure that those recommendations are implemented, we will need a strategy for that. And that will be the security sector reform strategy. The Gambia is definitely ready for that because what reforms call for, at least is to make sure that, the things that were wrong are being corrected. And then again, I think one of the most important and critical things about this reform is it's trying to at least make the security sector, more responsive to the needs of the people. Because if they are not well budgeted, well resourced, and then again, the legislative frameworks that they need, for their daily operations, if they are not in place or are obsolete, they will not meet the current demand and realities of the needs of the Gambian people. So all those things need to be looked into. And then there are also their operational needs. Because also if you have a mandate and then the logistics that you need to do your business are not in place, it will be very difficult, to secure the people of the Gambia. So we need all those things in place.
The development of the national security strategy to implement the national security policy, as well as the security service reform strategy to implement the findings and recommendations of the assessment report with a view to reforming the security sector is very critical, and thus, at the end of the training, participants would be expected to be equipped with the requisite knowledge, talents, and skills to tackle the critical dimensions in drafting the national security strategy and the security sector reform strategy, both key in the success of the country's security service reform process. Babukar C, QTV News.
The new board of directors of the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, on Tuesday began a 4-day nationwide familiarization tour. The tour is aimed at enabling the new board of directors to abreast themselves with the operation of NAWEC. Omar P. Jallo tells us more.
The nationwide tour by NAWEC's new board of directors began with a visit to Fajara Booster Station, Kotu Power Station, Sukuta Water Treatment Plant, Birkama Water Treatment Plant, and the Birkama Power Station in the West Coast region. Speaking to QTV shortly after the tour, the chairman NAWEC board of directors, Usman Mohamed Cham, said the visit is meant to assess the progress of work ongoing in all NAWEC outlets.
This is a new board. We are just coming in less than 3 months. So we thought it wise with management to come and see actually what are the sites, what are the issues, what are the projects that we have, and what are the challenges that we are meeting, so that we can, at the board level, think about how to support management to be able to turn NAWEC around.
He thanked the management and staff of NAWEC for what he described as hard work, commitment, and dedication to their duties, while encouraging them to keep up the good work.
Start by commending the management. I must say I'm really surprised by the amount of work and the amount of projects that are going on the ground. And I believe in 2 years down the line, water and electricity will be something that will have to increase the access to a lot of people that will currently do not have access to it. So the efforts that are being done on the ground is really very amazing. And many people in the Gambia don't know what actually is happening on the ground. So we are very impressed with what we saw today and the efforts, the new projects that are going on, and we hope with the completion of these projects, we'll see NAWEC take a quantum leap in terms of providing electricity and water supply in the country.
The managing director of NAWEC, Baba Fatajo, described the tour as timely, saying it will go a long way in complementing their efforts in solving the electricity and water problems in the country.
These are people of very high caliber, people with integrity, people who have a vast experience in running institutions. So therefore we are very much excited that they will be able to guide the management, to ensure that we turn this company around. I have seen a lot of wisdom in them. I've seen a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of zeal to help us excel. They have demonstrated that since from day one. And I think what they have seen today has further given them the courage that management is also having the same agenda with them in ensuring that what we are tasked to do, we do it for the best interest of the Gambian people.
The tour continued to the provinces on Thursday. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
In sports, Birkama United are top of First Division League following their 0-0 draw with Gambia Ports Authority GPA on Monday. The game marks the resumption of the league's second leg after a week-long break. Momodo Gajaga was watching the game at the Birkama Mini Stadium, and this is his report.
Mamadou Bojang can never stop blaming himself for missing such a glorious chance, both for his records and for his team, Birkama United. It was a game full of activities for the host, putting their opponents under intense pressure. Despite the home side's dominance in the interval, this was a great opportunity to go into the break with a lead, but it was another missed opportunity after a fine delivery from Sekou Jawara's free kick. Earlier on, Keba Mane had a thunder shot saved by the goalkeeper Musa Jatta. There was beautiful positional football shown by Birkama United late in the second half. The introduction of Ismail Assise added flair to the team, helping them in attack. However, it was a game full of drama. There were two bust-ups involving the same player on two different occasions. Lamarana Jallo appears to poke his palm on the face of Moses Jassy after a foul on Ismail Assise as referee Maudo Jallo watched without booking. Perhaps the ugliest incident was when GPA defender Sekou Jawara appeared to stamp on the left-back Modu Jadama as he tries to control the ball. Tempers flare leading onto these ugly bust-ups. Sekou Jawara was booked with a yellow card to the dismay of the home fans, who thought he should have been sent off for a reckless tackle, while the visiting team claimed there was a foul before the incident. The draw gives Birkama United a slim advantage on top of the standings, although they are tied on 22 points with Walidan, but have a better goal difference. Modulamin Nyasi says a point wasn't bad looking at the pedigree of his opponents.
So it's not bad because this is second round. We have to calculate. These are big teams. You don't have to go all out to win all your matches. Sometimes you strategize them. If we can win them, and then we will do. This is why we started with two holding players in the middle, and we know they dominated in the middle. So we have to change. We don't want to lose this game. It's better we change and then we come with another formation, and then that works for us very well. So it's not bad, Yeah.
This is Nyasi's second season as the coach of the club, and he sets his sights on nothing but winning the league title this year.
Actually, I always say this, I have to compete and I will compete to the last minute. So whatever comes out of it, I will take it. But Birkama United is here to compete, definitely.
Haji Tunkara says playing Birkama United at home is one of the toughest fixtures coaches have to deal with.
We've used some strategies in defending, and I think it did help the team, especially in the first half, and we were in control of the game. We could have just tried to, although we didn't create more chances, but we could have tried to capitalize on our limited chances in the first half. And always you have to expect that coming to Birkama, playing against Birkama United on their home ground with their fans is always going to be a tough game for you. But I think the boys did perform very well.
On the two ugly incidents, he thinks it could have been handled well.
I think the fourth referee could have tried to neutralize that problem since in the beginning. But I think they have to learn from that, because they are also referee. I think they are referees. These referees will be assessed after every game, and they are also human. How we, the coaches, the players, doing mistakes, and I think hopefully they are also doing mistakes. But there are people who are assessing them, and hopefully they'll try to help and improve them.
The stalemate means Brikama United missed the chance to widen the gap between them and second place Walidan. Only goal difference separated the two sides. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end this bulletin of the news, a recap of our main stories. The Supreme Court has struck out charges filed against 31 MPs in a lawsuit filed by lawyers Lamin Kemboj and Ibrahima Jallow, who are in defense of President Barrow's sacking of nominated MP Yakumba Jaite. Meanwhile, in a similar but different case, the Defense Counsel for Jaite has filed an injunction at the Supreme Court to prevent the swearing of newly nominated member Fode Gassama. Gambia's ambassador to the Republic of Turkey today testified at the ongoing Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission's public hearings. He was testifying in relation to his alleged arrest and detention in January 1996 and April 2016. A 3-day induction training of members of the National Security Drafting Committee has ended at a local hotel in Bakau. The session was meant to prepare drafters for a design on the security sector reform strategy. The training was graced by security service reform specialists, international partners, senior representatives from the UN, AU and ECOWAS. That's it for this edition of the news. Thank you for watching.